To bridge the gap that was 2022 to bring forward 2023, we're coming at you live from the Oswego Speedway in upstate New York to bring you something we haven't done before. It's a no holds barred, no holding back for all 60 drivers entered it for a shot at glory in the inaugural one-up AHA Winter Classic here at Oswego. We've got the best of the best racing for all out glory. We've got some drivers with resumes a mile long, and we've got some drivers who've never even raced before. But they're all in equal machinery, and it's time to see which among them will come out on top here this week. Alongside me in the booth for this amazing event is Duke Anzac, three-time winner in the One-Up Superstar Series, and, well, what can I say other than that? This is where everybody comes to prove their stuff in the very same machinery. This is what everybody's been looking forward to since we took the checkered flag in Homestead in November.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We had a fantastic season that we closed out about a month or so ago. And everybody was happy after that. We were pumped to have finished out a season. We crowned some champions, and now we've crossed over into the new year, and we're here at Oswego on the dirt to race some cars that we have yet to see in the One-Up series, and to see some drivers that we've seen a lot of, some drivers that we're about to get a debut sighting of, and I'm just really excited to see how all these drivers handle this whole situation. Everybody's been having fun, and it's going to be a ton of fun. This race is going to be absolutely fantastic. We have a ton of stuff to watch and be excited by and be entertained by for this whole sequence of races here. So this is just a fantastic event, and it's going to be seriously fun.
And with no points on the line, you can expect these guys to go 110% for the entirety of their races, however many they manage to make here this weekend. So, let's go over how this is going to work for those new to this, as we all are. This is going to take place over four 25-lap heat races. We got 15 drivers in each one. The top 5 finishers who cross the line first, they will advance directly to the A-Main feature race later on in the week. 6th through 10th in the running order in each heat will be relegated to a B-Main semi-feature, and everybody else heads to the C-Main consolation. But just because you get relegated to a lower race doesn't mean your hopes are gone, because if you can place in the top 5 in either of those two consolation races, you get to move up to the one directly above it. And if you can do it in both, you can go from the C directly to the A main. So there's a lot to set your eyes on for this race. And honestly, I'm at a loss for words. This is just a great way to get the season started. I personally can't wait.
Yeah, and neither can I. I mean, we've got 60 drivers ready to rumble here, with a lot of great, beautiful, colorful race cars on the track. We got a lot of creative numbers, a lot of great, fantastic drivers. That's just going to be so much fun to watch. We've got a great format here too with their heat races. We've got 4 heat races coming up. Those are going to be short and sweet sprints to the finish, and then we've got our 3 main races, and then of course all of that is closed out by the A main, the big prize, the 100 lapper that's going to determine who our Winter Classic winner is. So this is just going to be a great time, and I do expect to see a lot of aggression. I expect to see a lot of drivers maybe that we haven't ever really talked about before, haven't really known a lot about before, because it's a completely different discipline that we're racing in right now than we typically race in. I mean, we only get a handful of dirt races overall in the One-Up series, and now we're going straight to the core. This is all out dirt, the cars, the track, and everything about it. So this is just going to be a lot of fun, and I sure am looking forward to it.
And now with that taken care of, we can now look at our lineups for the heats today. And looking straight into heat number 1, we've got you're going to love this. The top 3 drivers to start heat number 1, they have a combined one-up start between them. It is going to be an absolute blast to see Will Harrison and Cam Stevenson blast off into turn 1 for the first time, with Jacob Effens in between them for the second time. But then, boy, when you look behind them, you got some real veterans. You got Mark Davey, Earl Sear, Devin Fair, Ricky Freeman Jr. Got all these great names looking to make the A main feature show. But boy, when you look at the back of this field, you got some big superstar drivers: Nick Ortiz, Polanski, Jeffrey Finguy's back there. A lot of historic names gonna have to come from the back to try and make the A main here today.
Yeah, that's going to be a fantastic first heat, and it's basically you're right. We got rookies starting up front, and we got veterans starting in the back, and I'll tell you that is absolutely going to make for a great show. A lot of fast guys in the back, in that back 5 cars of the 15-car field for that first heat. I think that's going to prove to be an absolutely exciting, action-packed heat race.
Looking ahead to heat number 2 now, and a bit of normalcy at the front. Justin Hutchinson, always a perennial favorite for the championship in the Superstar Series. He lines up on pole for heat number 2. We got James Ellison moving up to the Nitro National Series this year. He starts alongside. But you have two more rookies starting in the top 5 in that heat. You got Dmitry Bortnik, the Russian racer, making his first start of any kind, starting 3rd. And you got Kodiak Keen going to run a part-time schedule in the trucks this year. He starts 5th. But again, you've got a lot of good drivers in this heat. You got Roberto Crown Jr., who's always a contender. You got Jeff Bolton and Miles Mashburn, the championship runner-up last year. For the Superstar Series, he starts last. So there's got a lot of big names in this one, too. Don't count anybody out here, either.
You're absolutely right. And Miles Mashburn coming out of a breakout season, who absolutely, you're right, 2nd place in the championship there. Just a fantastic job overall. And he's starting dead last in this heat in 15th, so he's got ground to make up. That's going to be exciting. You got a lot of recognizable names, and then a good mix of people that you haven't really seen yet. And I think that we're going to get a lot of people in this one that really could give us a big surprise here on the dirt.
Going ahead to Heat 3, and Lane Sanders, despite having a bit of a rough season in the Superstar Series last year, he lines up on pole for Heat number 3 to get his 2023 off to a good start. He's alongside rookie Jacob Buchholz in the number 5. He's made a bunch of starts in the National Series, a few in the trucks. He's going to run full-time in the trucks this season. We'll see how he does. We have Joshua Michaels in this heat, Ben McDonald, and believe it or not, we have 2 of the 3 defending champions of this one-up series starting alongside each other. Ryan Griffin, the defending truck champion, and 6th, Christian Vargas, the 2-time defending one-up Superstar Series champion, starting 7th. A lot of racing pedigree in this one.
Yeah, you're right. I think that this is probably the most stacked heat that we have as far as driver talent and that we've seen so far in the one-up series. And you're right. They're kind of starting mid-pack. Those 2 champions of the sport, 3 championships between the 2 of them, and that's going to be a great race. And don't sleep on Ryan Soper, Kev Shear, Jake McMillan, all starting 13, 14, 15 in this one. They're going to be a lot of fun to watch climbing up through the pack.
And last but not least, heat number 4. We have a rookie on pole for that one as well, Josh Gibson. He's going to run a full truck schedule this season. Alongside him is a truck veteran, Brian Grigsby, 2 National Series drivers in row 2, and Grant and DeLello. And Brehan Stojanovic, the Serbian driver, rounds out the top 5. We got some good names in this one too. Cale Teskar Jr. is in this heat. We've got Francois Chastain in this heat. And we got a few drivers signed for you this season. Chris Lattimore, Logan Williams are in this heat, but as we should probably mention by now, there are no teammates in the Winter Classic.
Yeah, you're right. They know each other through getting signed to Team Duke this year, but they won't be nice. In fact, I'd bet you that'll just make the competition even higher, that they're both going to be fighting for one of those top 5 spots to try to get into the A main, and of course they're going to be fighting against some great competition in this race, spread all throughout. And I'm excited to see what Josh Gibson can do as well from the pole. Rookie with a bunch of non-rookies starting right behind. It's going to be a really interesting 4th heat race.
So I believe, after about 10 minutes of talking, we've done enough talking, and I think it's time to get some racing under our belts. So, with that being said, we've got 15 cars lined up on the grid for heat number 1. And I bet everybody's looking forward to getting some racing action here in 2023. So, with that being said, we'll see you on the other side. This is the 1UP Winter Classic on TRN, heat number 1, coming your way shortly. Getting all set for heat number 1, the green flag is in the air, and Will Harrison will lead us into the first corner. He's already ahead of Athens, but he's bringing Cam Stevenson with him. These 3 rookies are bringing a lot of top talent along with them. We'll see if Stevenson can get the lead for 3 and 4.
Yeah, and you have to watch this. This is the first opportunity we have to see these cars on track, so we'll have to see how the track performs, how the cars perform, and of course how the drivers perform in this race. And so far, we're 2 wide pretty much all the way back still from the leading order. Here comes Earl Sear on the bottom.
3 wide for the lead for 3 and 4 to complete lap number 2. Stevenson on the outside now, back to double file. Earl Sear on the bottom. Coming to complete lap number 2, Stevenson still has the lead, but Earl Sear is not going to be denied. He comes off 2 with the lead.
Oh, he made a great pass right there and just moved on the bottom. Got a lot of momentum despite not being in that outside lane. Typically, the outside lane is where you get all the momentum. We're 3 wide for 3rd and 2 wide for the lead.
And look at that, you got Alexa Lucian on the bottom of the racetrack making gains with Ricky Freeman Jr. and Will Harrison. A lot of these drivers making their first ever starts. You got Cam Stevenson. He's never made a 1UP start in his life, and here he is leading the first heat race, and we're already a 5th of the way through it. Stevenson's on a tear.
Yeah, this is a great battle between the 2 of them. Now the 3 of them for the lead, and it looks like Cam Stevenson is going to have a little bit of a break now that the 10 has gone to the inside of Earl Sear, and they're battling for 2nd place. But yeah, that was a great pass from Cam Stevenson. Kind of used that same trick that Earl Sear used to take the lead, and now is on that outside lane defending. But I think that right now the bottom is at least the preferred place to be for passing. Maybe not for defense, but for passing. You want to be on that bottom.
Absolutely, you definitely, the outside groove is where you want to be to hold station, but if you're going to make a pass on a guy, you're going to have to do it on that inside groove. And you can see a lot of dust being kicked up by these high horsepower machines, and you see Stevenson's just pulling away with the lead as Freeman and Sear battle side by side. Remember, a lot of these guys compete in different series from each other. They might not be used to racing each other. The only 2 I can see that are in the same series is Lucian and Freeman up there. And you see the outside pole sitter, Jacob Athens. He's now fallen all the way outside the top 10.
Yeah, that's an interesting situation there. It just got bad lines and got held up pretty bad as well. Falling all the way back in this one. But yeah, you know, and you have to remember that, like, Earl Sear lost the lead, but then he got kind of settled in that 2nd position, and now, of course, as I'm talking about it, he fell back, but he might not have been making a move for the lead because you really only need to be in the top 5. Of course, you're going to gain four starting positions in the A main for every 1 position you advance in the top 5, but as long as you're in the top 5, you're in that A main already, starting in the top 20. So you definitely want to stay up there, but you might not have to be too aggressive to try to take the lead or even 2nd place.
One driver who's been incredibly aggressive in this race, William Brock in the 1. He gets pinched by Jared Polansky just a little bit. Brock started last in his heat. Last time across the line, they were 3rd. Oh, and they made contact. And they're in the wall. Polansky and Brock around, and the caution flies for the first time in heat number 1. Brock gets a helping hand from Jared Polansky. They're both into the wall, and caution flies.
Boy, that was just a squeezing situation right there. There just wasn't enough room for the 2 of them. They racing back to the line, it looked like, right there.
Yeah, Stevenson and Freeman were clear at a mess. They are 1-2. Everybody else is just mired back there trying to... You see Harrison, Lucian, and Polansky now up into the transfer positions, just ahead of Nick Ortiz. And you see William Brock here. He's trying to reclaim some of the positions he lost there. I'm sure they're waving him through. But, yeah, that was just... No replay needed for that. That was just a matter of one guy coming up and there was another guy already there.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and sometimes that's just how it is. You know, maybe you don't have full control of your car. I mean, we're racing on a really loose surface here, and the dirt cars and a lot of horsepower, hard to handle these things. And yeah, get a little bit loose in the corner, chase that car up the track. Somebody's out there, push him into the wall, and then you both spin. So, hey, no harm, no foul, other than some positions lost. And we're going to be able to go back racing here real soon.
question is, how much damage is on that 1 and on that 18? These cars crumple very easily to allow for shock absorbency, but the question is, how much damage do those two cars have? They're currently on either side of the transfer line, with Polanski ahead of Brock, but if push comes to shove, I think that one car is going to waste no time trying to hustle the 18 out of his way.
No, definitely not, and especially after that, it's all in good fun. But I would be worried a little bit about the suspension components on these cars and some braces, some arms there in the wheel assembly. I mean, they're pretty much open wheel cars when you look at them. So you're making wheel to bumper contact and wheel to wall contact as well with these vehicles. So that's a tough situation in case there is any damage, and we'll see what has happened to them and based on their performance when we go green.
And remember, this is William Brock's first race back after that terrible crash at Las Vegas last season that knocked him out of the series for the final 8 races. So he's got to knock the rust off, and boy, he's being given a crash course in welcome back to one-up racing.
Yeah, definitely a crash course for sure, and maybe not one that's so welcomed either, but hey, it was some soft impacts there, racing on dirt and coming out of the corner. We'll see if we're gonna go green next time. So the lights are off on the pace car, and we've got Cam Stevenson, who has put on quite the show so far. Lost what wasn't up front in the beginning, but then as soon got up in second place behind Earl Sear, made the pass on Earl Sear, and has led ever since. So I'm excited to see what this 2-car can do now after the restart. They're single file behind, a little bit more spread out than they were, and we'll see where everybody goes on the restart.
And remember, if you win this heat, you're starting on pole for the A-main. That's a big distinction to have. As the pace car pulls off, Cam Stevenson leads us into the green. We're back underway in heat number 1.
Yeah, Cam Stevenson, a great start, great acceleration. Has slid up the track a little bit farther probably than he wanted to, but he's still ahead right now, and we've got everybody staying single file right now, but really close. I'm sure that's going to change down this straightaway. We're going to go double wide down here and see what happens in turn 1.
Yeah, Nick Ortiz getting along in the 25, getting alongside Brock in the 1. That's for 6th, and now they're side by side for 2nd and for 4th spot with Freeman and Harrison, and Alexa Lucian racing Jared Polanski. So we've got racing all over this place, and we now have 6 laps to go in heat number 1.
Yeah, this is a bigger sprint than I had anticipated. I mean, these laps click by so quickly. That caution happened a little bit after halfway, so we're coming down to it right here, and everybody's trying to gain some positions. And look at this, we might have a challenge for the lead in the next half lap.
2 rookies going at it. Cam Stevenson, Will Harrison. Neither one has raced in one-up before, and they're putting on quite the performance. At the head of heat number 1, ahead of some real strong challengers in the Superstar and Nitro National Series. So we now have 4 laps to go in heat number 1. Can Harrison get there and almost make contact?
Yeah, this is a fight for the pole position, and they both know it. They're both willing to do whatever it takes to get it, and right now the 07, I'd say, is in a really good position on that bottom lane. Isn't quite... No, it is going to be clear now. Wow, it was just so close. But the 07 is now on top, and we'll see if he's able to clear through here. He absolutely is. Put Harrison to the point.
Coming to 2 laps to go. Does Cam Stevenson have anything left? For Will Harrison. Harrison washes up a little bit into the cushion. They bang wheels. Coming to 2 laps to go. Stevenson still in it.
Incredible battle. Cam Stevenson did not give the 07 any time to settle in, and now they're side by side still. The 10 is in 3rd and remains there. It looks like this top 5 might just be settled, but now Cam Stevenson has something to say about that top spot side by side at the white flag.
1 more lap to go in heat number 1. Stevenson and Harrison side by side. Polanski looks like he's going to get around Ricky Freeman Jr. for 3rd, but the battle is up front. Can Stevenson clear Will Harrison? You bet he's going to. Polanski with a dive. It's not going to work, but Cam Stevenson takes heat number 1.
Wow, what a race. Cam Stevenson ended up getting it back. Man, that car is mean looking today. And I think he's going to be somebody you definitely want to watch for the rest of this event. Going to be starting on the pole for the A-main, and we got some spinning and some bumping in the back as they come into the pit lane. But man, oh man, what a race it was.
You have everything here. Jared Polanski, Ricky Freeman Jr., Alexa Lushon, they'll all transfer to the A main. Mark Davey is the first one out. He'll go to the B, as will Jacob Athens, Nick Ortiz, William Brock, and Earl Sear. While you have Tegan Fox, Devin Fair, Jeffrey Finguy, Eric Monaco, and Austin Runkle going to the C main later in this week. Boy, that was a lot of fun, and we've only done one heat. Imagine how the rest of them are going to go if they keep working out the way they are now.
Yeah, can you believe there's 3 more?
And we've got them coming at you live next in the One Up Winter Classic. Heat number 2 coming your way in a very short time. Coming to take the green flag for heat number 2, Justin Hutchinson takes us to the green flag, and he barrels it off into the first corner with a lot of headway. He's got to be careful because here comes the Russian rookie, Dmitry Bortnik, on the inside.
Yeah, that was a great start from the 9 car, and of course, like you said, 158 coming up the track. My goodness, sent it in there into the corner and almost didn't make it. Took out himself and the leader just nearly, but it wasn't enough. He slides into second place, and now we've got Cody Akin coming in from 3rd place, and he's flying up through the field right now.
Yeah, the 666 is making some headway here in heat number 2. Oh, that was almost a wreck between Ellison and Stoyan. Remember, Stoyan drives a truck that Ellison owns, but like we said at the top of the show, there's no team orders here.
Yeah, absolutely not, and that was just demonstrating it right there, that we're absolutely, this is full contact racing here on the dirt at Oswego, and yeah, this is a great battle that we have for the lead right now with the 666 and the 9 side by side, and it looks like this 666 is going to get it done going into this corner right here.
Here's another driver who's never made a one-up start before, Kodiak Keene taking the lead in the 666, slides up just barely in front of Justin Hutchinson. Oh man, this is as close a race as you're going to find on this planet. These guys are primed, ready to go, and you can see it right here. Justin Hutchinson chasing down Kodiak Keene for the top spot. And man, these cars are just so fantastic here. You got Jeff Bolton making his way up from his starting spot in this heat. He started 6th. He's now working on, looks like Yogen Stoyan for the 3rd spot, but he's facing pressure from Lawson in the 777.
Yeah, we had the 666 go up to the front of the pack, and now we've got the 777 following in its tracks, and right now has just moved into a transfer spot. So this bottom lane, I think, is absolutely the place to be. A lot of people are moving up to the top a little bit, but if you can make it work on the bottom, that is where you want to be to make some ground up on these people in front of you.
There's Bortnik getting around Bolton for the final transfer spot into the A main. But back up front, it is Kodiak Keene ahead of Hutchinson, ahead of Stoyan. This is going to be a big battle here as Ellison and Blaine Saylor now battle for the 7th position. This is for a spot in the B main.
Yeah, it is tough to drive back here. Visibility, as you can see even from the camera, is pretty low. And of course, when you have all these cars around you, it's just tough to see. So these guys really putting on a good show right now for the conditions they're racing in, and for all that's at stake right now, of course, in this race. So you want to be in the top 5, and of course this race determines that 2nd place. The winner will be starting 2nd in the A main. So this is a big race as well, to be starting on the front row of that A main, and of course you want to get into the A main by finishing in the top 5. So all these guys working for that goal here on lap 11.
We've been looking at Kyle Danielson. He only has 1 start and 1 up to his name. Oh, and we got trouble. Ellison gets hooked by the 554 and a big crash on the start-finish line.
Yeah, he took a hard hit right there, right into that gate that they have, with a big tire right there. He just got turned on the straightaway. We'll see possibly in a replay what happened.
Yeah, absolutely. This one we'll absolutely take another look at. The question is, can James Ellison and that team rebuild that car in time? Because he's going to need it for the C main later this week.
Yeah, he absolutely will, and that's going to be a tough situation because the C main happens right after. It's the first of the mains that will occur, so it's going to be a quick turnaround for them. We'll see if they can do it.
But now, our first major incident of the event here in the One Up Winter Classic. as the pace car leads him around with Kodiak Keene in the race lead. We're going to get you a replay of what happened to James Ellison in that 3 car, because that was a well of a shot he took in the early stages of heat number 2. We're just about halfway through. You can see Roberto Crown Jr. is just to his outside, and he gets hooked. There's nothing more to it. And he finds that really small opening in that inside wall. That is the last place you want to hit, especially in a dirt car like this that's meant to crumple. That is not where you want to hit those things. I'll tell you that much. One more look at this. You see Crown has to check up. Ellison's got Sailor to his inside, just nowhere to go. And oh man. Went into it back end first, thankfully, but that was a big impact. The hardest hit of the night so far. And it's James Ellison, the unfortunate one involved in this. He should be able to rebuild that car in time to race in the C main, but he's gonna start at the very back for that, and you need to finish strong there.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough recovery, and I'm sure if anybody can do it, that team and that driver absolutely have the capability. So we got one more lap until we go green here, and one final note on that incident. You know, it's just as typical as it is here. You got one section of this track that is a little bit dangerous, and of course one of these cars is going to find it. So hopefully that's the last time that happens tonight, and we will see how this all goes. Another green flag restart late in the race here, so it's going to be a sprint to the finish for all these drivers, and they're starting single file.
Pace car pulls off. We're getting ready for the restart, and it's Kodiak Keene leading the way. The green flag is out, and Hutchinson's wasting no time trying to get to the front.
And another great start from that 9 car, something that we might see as common between some of the fastest vehicles we have here. The 666 leading the way, and Justin Hutchinson looking to the bottom right now. They're going to be side by side, and there's a little almost contact. I'm not sure if there was contact, but boy, was it close between the two of them, and now Justin Hutchinson is in position to possibly take the lead.
Side by side, coming to 6 laps to go. It is Hutchinson and Keene side by side for the lead. Hutchinson clears off a 4, 6 laps to go in heat number 2.
Keene is going to have a good spot here to possibly execute a crossover, and here he goes. Oh man, there's almost contact again between these two drivers who are running almost identical laps around this racetrack, but the 666 is just a little bit lower on exit, and that's helping his overall straightaway speed and his positioning especially. So now he's on the bottom, he's a little bit ahead, he's going to stay on the bottom here, he's going to dive into the corner right there and hopefully clear. There he goes. So he's got the spot now, and we'll see what Justin Hutchinson can do, maybe in to try to get that spot back and start in second place for the A main.
And don't look now, here comes Bortnick in the 158 looking to make some noise in the late stages. He's looking to make some headway in his first ever one-up start. He's got Hutchinson to his outside, a 6-time Superstar Series winner, Justin Hutchinson, and Bortnick's racing him like a veteran, that's for sure. And he's not done yet. He's going to go for the lead with 2 laps to go.
Yeah, he might have a good shot at getting it too. He's going to be in solid position right here on the bottom lane, but he's got company behind him. So Bortnick goes to the way top, and they're almost 3 wide for second place.
How about Jeff Bolton restarted in 6th on the restart, and now he's looking for the lead coming to the white flag.
And we've got one heck of a battle as well for that 5th spot. The final transfer spot is up for grabs right now, but mainly the lead is up for grabs. Going on the back straightaway, they're side by side.
Coming down into 3 and 4 for the final time. Is it going to be Keene? Is it going to be Bolton? Is it going to be somebody else? Off of turn 4 for the final time. It's going to be a drag race, but Bolton's going to edge him at the line.
So close.
So Jeff Bolton wins heat number 2 by leading only the final lap, but he will start second in the A main. Kodiak Keene's got a good starting spot. Justin Hutchinson, Dmitry Bortnick, and Yojan Stoyan will transfer into the A main with Jonathan Lawson the first one out. He and Kyle Danielson, Blaine Saylor, Roberto Crown Jr., and Miles Mashburn, they go to the B main. And man, you got Zachary Bilson back there. You got, oh my gosh, you got Tyler Pompey back there. You have Ryan Vasquez, Allison Rain, and of course James Ellison. They're all headed to the C main, but what a race we've had for heat number 2. We still got 2 more to go, but I don't know. Jeff Bolton coming from the back to take it on the final lap. I don't know what's going to top it.
No, that was really impressive from Jeff Bolton, but I think that there's probably 3 or 4 cars from this race that I think could absolutely be favorites in the A main. So this is going to be a lot of fun to watch the rest of the night and see who could possibly challenge those guys.
So with 2 more heats to go, stay tuned because we got the 3rd one coming up in an absolute flash. This is the One Up Winter Classic. Stay tuned because heat number 3 is up next. With Lane Sanders on the inside leading us to the green flag, Heat 3 is underway, and boy, he's got a good start into turn 1. But he's got Joshua Michaels coming up the inside. This is where all the pole sitters have met their downfall, as the 3rd place car getting a good run in the 3 and 4. Could this be the case again?
Yeah, it looks like it will be, but there's almost contact. It looks like the 818 had to let out of the gas right there. Joshua Michaels doing a good job of avoiding contact, and we lose complete vision for a moment there on everybody, but we're still good, and the 87 remains the leader coming through this corner here, and we've got quite the battle for 2nd place now, heating up with the 861 Stanley Andrews, a rookie, going for 2nd place.
And this is another driver who's never made a one-up start before, Stanley Andrews, and he's making a move for 2nd in the 861. And right behind him, Christian Vargas, the two-time defending Superstar Series champion. Boy, if there was a guy you want to hang behind and learn from, that's Christian Vargas. And you got another rookie back there, Mac Johnson in the 55. He's never made a one-up start before, but he's on the charge in the 55, following the 54 around. That's a great guy to follow around if you want to pick up a lot of tricks really quickly.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and there were a lot of uncertainties going into this race. How are the cars going to handle? How will they perform? How is the track going to be? But one of the things that we all knew is that Christian Vargas would definitely be one of the guys in this race fighting for a spot to make it to the A main and possibly win one of these heat races. And here he is, sitting in 3rd place, and he's looking really good right now. But that 55 is getting below him right now. Mac Johnson, who is also a rookie, a couple of rookies racing around Christian Vargas right now, doing a great job.
And how about Ben McDonald? He started deep in the field for his heat race. He started all the way back. Well, actually, he didn't start that far back. He was in 4th at the start, but he fell back at the start. Now he's making gains back up to the front. He's making his way up to 6th, ahead of Jacob Buckles. But it has been Lane Sanders who's got a pretty commanding lead out in front, actually. He's got a half-second lead. That's as big a lead as we've seen anybody have. That car, I feel like, is going to be a real big threat to win the A-Main. Because remember, win this race, you get to start in that all-critical 3rd spot in the A-Main.
You're right. That we've seen in every single heat so far that 3rd spot driver gets a shot at taking the lead early in the race. So if you've got a great car like that 87 of Lane Sanders does, who's able to keep the lead off of the start of this race, possibly starting in 3rd for the A main, that's going to be a big eye-opener for the competition. They're going to have to work on their restarts. And as soon as Joshua Michaels, he went up there and from 3rd place, tried to get the lead, wasn't able to make it happen, and now he has fallen all the way back to behind this 84 and others farther in the back of the pack. So I'm not sure if maybe he messed up that car somehow or what's going on. He's starting to make a move again now, but yeah, that was just a tough break for Joshua Michaels.
And he's getting around to another driver who's never made a one-up start before. We got a lot of them here. Nathan Ormond in the 95. And Buckles tries to make a move on him. Zachary Fitzwater's down here working on Kev Shearer in the 24. They almost made contact. Oh, man, you got great racing everywhere, but I'm honestly a little surprised. Ryan Griffin in this 29, yeah. He's not made as much progress as I thought he might.
No, and same to talk about Jake McMillan is sitting in the back. Still started in 15th and remains in 15th. Those are 2 big surprises in this race. They're going to have to work on their vehicles to possibly make them better for what could be either the C or the B main for them. And of course, if they figure it out in this, they can make it to the A main. We've seen crazier things happen, but yeah, right now, not looking too good for those guys.
But it's looking perfect for Lane Sanders, who's not put a foot wrong all day. He's led every lap of his heat by quite a comfortable margin. and he's got a steer 3/4 second lead. But right now, it looks as though the transfer spots look to be fairly settled. You got Sanders ahead of Andrews, then you have Johnson, Vargas, and McDonald. But at 84 is lurking back there. If he can get a run on the 12, maybe something could come out of this yet.
Yeah, absolutely. And these guys are all, I'd say the top 3 right now are pretty comfortable. Then you get Christian Vargas. I mean, he's going to be calm and collected right there. But 4th place starts to make you nervous. Ben McDonald, I'd be a little bit nervous with Ryan Soper right there behind you in that 5th spot, the final transfer spot. But other than that, I mean, there's a little bit of a gap right there. So these guys probably are all pretty content right now to just ride, let the laps tick away, and then feel it out towards the end of the race. See if you need to be aggressive and gain some more spots within that top 5. But right now, this 84 might actually be holding up the 5 car in that 6th spot. Maybe this 5 car could go up there and take away one of those A main transfer spots.
Yeah, we'll see if Buckles can get a run on Soper here. But now Ben McDonald's making a run on Christian Vargas. McDonald, remember, finished top 5 in points in the Superstar Series last year. He knows his way around the racetrack. And he's making a move on Vargas now for 4th. These two going at it for the 2 final transfer spots for the A-Main. And they're still pulling away from the 84.
Yeah, he is absolutely making that move right now, and it looks like he's going to get clear probably in the next corner. So that puts Christian Vargas on the hot seat in that 5th position. Of course, they still haven't settled it for 6th, which allows these guys to just drive farther and farther away. And like I said, the laps are ticking down in this one. We're on lap 21 here, and the 12 is on fire right now, going possibly for 3rd place.
Making the move on Mac Johnson here. This is for 3rd. Slots in right behind the rookie in the 55. But, man, Ben McDonald's on a tear. You were right. But I don't know if it's going to be enough to catch the top 2. They are pretty much streaked away. But especially Lane Sanders. He's got a 2nd lead over the field in just 22 laps. That is an amazing feat. Sanders looking to capitalize now with 3 laps to go.
Yeah, and this will absolutely be our fastest heat race. No yellows in this one. But the 87 is putting on an astonishing pace right now, driving away from everybody else. I think that this car is going to be tough to beat in the A main. Of course, we won't see him until then because he's going to be starting in 3rd place. That'll be quite the lurch off the line to see if he can get there. And maybe Christian Vargas under fire right now. Ryan Soper figured this thing out and is trying to get him.
White flag is out. We've got 1 more lap in heat number 3. Lane Sanders has been untouchable in heat number 3 so far. Kicks up a huge plume of dust behind him. And as he ran 3 and 4 for the final time, this is about an easy Sunday drive for Lane Sanders. And he takes home heat number 3. He'll start 3rd in the A-Main. Andrews makes it. McDonald, Johnson, and Christian Vargas just holds on to the final transfer spot. They will all make the A-Main. Ryan Soper, well, he gave it his best, but he'll have to start to race in the B-Main, the transfer, as will Jacob Buckles, Nathan Orman, Joshua Michaels, and Jensen Nomina in the 62. They will all race in the B-Main later. And as for the C-Main, take your pick. You got Zachary Fitzwater, Bronson Minnick, Kev Shearer, Ryan Griffin, big surprises back here, and Jake McMillan. They got their work cut out for them, but don't count anything out at this point.
Yeah, that C-Main is absolutely going to be a tough race. I mean, we got some fantastic competitors back there that are going to work on their cars and have a good shot and making something happen, possibly getting in to the next couple of mains right there. So it's going to be tough for these drivers in the C-Main to try to work their way up, and I do look forward to that race with all the talent we'll have in it.
But we still have the final heat to go in the One-Up Winter Classic. We still got some spots to decide for the A-Main and a few more further down the order. Strap in, because heat number 4 is coming your way very shortly. The One-Up Winter Classic rolls on. For the final heat, it is Josh Gibson and Brian Grigsby on the front row. We are green at Oswego, and Josh Gibson gets a good launch off the line, and Grigsby starts to fall back just a little bit in that 341.
Yeah, Josh Gibson, a good run, but the 53 from 3rd place, Kenneth Grant, is on the bottom lane right now, and he's going to have a good opportunity to to get up beside Josh Gibson, but Gibson on the outside has the momentum. We'll see what happens with Kenneth Grant. We got 3 wide for 3rd place behind there, and with the 88 on the very bottom, that's Nick Breeding. Between them is the 679 car, all black with the red roll bars. Really great looking race car right there, and everybody has sorted it out now. But this thing, a big shuffle in the beginning, and while all that was going on, Kenneth Grant has taken the lead.
Yeah, but now we've got your 2 guys here battling it out for the final transfer spot, Logan Williams and Chris Lattimore. Williams slots in ahead, and Corey Hayes in the 212 making some gains. Zachary DeLello and Brian Grigsby, though, they are dropping through the field quickly.
Yeah, that outside lane, when you've got a train of people on the bottom, what we've seen so far is that you really don't want to be there, and we're watching it with Chris Lattimore right now, just stuck up there. Everybody going to the bottom, passing him by, and he has no chance to get down there to try to make anything happen, and he's just stuck, losing positions, falling like a rock, and that's just a tough situation to be in. We'll see if he's able to recover later in this race. It's still early, but it is a very short race, so we'll see what happens.
And look at Brian Grigsby in the 341. In just 5 laps, he's fallen from outside pole to outside the top 10. Yeah. But meanwhile, at the front of the field, Corey Hayes is trying to make a move on Logan Williams to move up into the 4th spot. He takes it. Gibson falls back to 3rd because here comes Nick Breeding on the tear.
Yep, so this is Nick Breeding, who we saw making it 3 wide in the beginning of the race, and now is possibly going to have a shot at going for the lead right here, much closer than our 3rd heat was for the lead. This is what we saw in the first 2 heats, and right now, that 88 going to the bottom, he's going to get a more shallow exit on the track. He isn't able to get right up next to that 53. Oh, in fact, he's going to get passed by Josh Gibson, who's going for 2nd place again. Really close battling between the 2 of them. But 2nd place up for grabs right now, and Josh Gibson might have a shot at the lead, too, while he's down there.
Yeah, remember Kenneth Grant, our race leader, he's the first ever winner in the 1UP Nitro National Series, so he knows how to win key races, inaugural races. So no stranger to that, but he is losing the lead very quickly. Here comes Gibson to the front.
And Josh Gibson is on fire right now. As soon as he moved to the bottom, that car just took off like a rocket ship. And now Kenneth Grant is going to possibly fall behind to the 88 as well. I don't think that he will, but yeah, that was possibly a bad moment for Kenneth Grant. He's able to save it. Now we got Logan Williams going for a shot here for 4th place, trying to get out of that bubble spot. You don't want to be in the bubble spot, because then if you get past, you get relegated to a lower main, and you definitely want to make the A main here. So this is an interesting situation for all of these drivers, and really close within the top 5.
So Williams is working on Hayes for that 4th spot, and meanwhile you got Austin Zorgan lurking back there. Remember, last year in the Truck Series race at Knoxville, he put on a strong charge to actually qualify through his heat race to make that race. So Zorgan, a very good dirt racer, he's going to try and make the A main in that 44 car. Going to try and work onto the 212 of Hayes. They just barely avoided contact.
Yeah, and we've got 2 wide for 2nd place again. The 88, Nick Breeding, is going for the spot over Kenneth Grant once again. And they're battling directly behind the leader right now. And the 88, if he makes the pass, will be up alongside the leader of Josh Gibson. And this is only allowing Logan Williams to gain some time on these guys as they're racing side by side. Now for the lead, Nick Breeding is going for it.
And meanwhile, while Breeding does go for the lead, you see Austin Zorgan making a move on Corey Hayes. Zorgan into the transfer spot. Hayes drops back to 6th, and man, they almost made contact again for the lead. Only 2/100ths of a second separated the 2 at the line, but Nick Breeding to the lead in the 88.
And Josh Gibson is able to slide back into that 2nd position right there ahead of Kenneth Grant. So now the battle is on for that 5th place, that transfer position, while Josh Gibson once again goes for the lead, but the 212 on the bottom now is in the preferred spot. Zorgan on the outside is going to have to figure out another way or pass another car as soon as he gets that 5th position, because he's not going to be able to hold it. In that battle, there's contact definitely for the lead now. This is getting aggressive between these 2 drivers who have been battling for the lead this whole race so far. It is getting intense for this top spot.
8 laps to go from Oswego in heat number 4. Josh Gibson, Nick Breeding, both of whom will be rookies in the Truck Series next year. They are going to give it absolutely everything here on the dirt, and Gibson swings it high, Breeding drops low, and Logan Williams, he's right in the mix. He's getting underneath Kenneth Grant for the 3rd spot.
I was just noticing that he's taking the inside lane here, so we'll see. He's going to slot up the track right there, but we'll see what he's able to do, if anything, to possibly get below this 88 car, who also goes low now on Josh Gibson. So this is going to be a really fascinating few laps to the finish here to see who is able to get it, and can Zorgen come back up here and possibly fight for 5th place over Kenneth Grant, possibly, who will be in 5th, who was just battling for the lead. And now another battle for the lead is these two again. They have been banging wheels all day, and now they're side by side once again for the lead.
Nick Breeding with coming to 4 laps to go. This could be his big moment here. Coming to, yes, now 4 laps to go. Corey Hayes making gains. He's now gotten past the car of Kenneth Grant. Now Grant's in the transfer spot. Cale Tescar Jr. getting around Chris Lattimore here behind the 018. This is just going to be a big scrap for positions in the lower heats, because at this point in the race, the top 5 look fairly set, but Austin Zorgen is making gains, and Brian Grigsby just never had a good run at it. Neither did Zachary DeLello, Nathan Stapleton. These guys have had a rough go at it. But at the front of the field, 2 laps to go for Nick Breeding.
Yeah, Nick Breeding, I don't think is going to be able to go quietly into the night, because Josh Gibson is right there on his bumper. This is going to be quite the battle if Josh Gibson is able to get below him right here in the final part of this lap. Meanwhile, that 212 of Corey Hayes, who came all the way from the back, sitting there in 3rd place, has passed Logan Williams. Great run out of that car to lock himself into the A main. And here we are on lap 25 out of 25, and the 88 car still leading the way.
And off of turn 4, Nick Breeding wins heat number 4. He will start 4th in the heat, in the A main, I should say. And that allows Josh Gibson, Corey Hayes, Logan Williams, and Kenneth Grant to all lock in. You got the 018, he'll be in the B main. Austin Zorgen will be in the B main. Francois Chastain, Brayhan Stojanovic, and Cale Tescar Jr. will be in the B main. And then you look back at the stragglers in the C main. Chris Lattimore, Zachary DeLello, Brian Grigsby, Savannah J, and Nathan Stapleton. They will all race in the C main, which is our next event. And okay, we've got some action on pit road. It looks like Zachary DeLello is upside down.
Oh my gosh. Wow, that is quite the situation on the pit lane for Zachary DeLello. But hey, we had a bunch of great heat races today, and all it does is make me look forward to the mains. We got 3 mains. We got 40 lapper, a 50 lapper, a 100 lapper to finish it all off, and that's going to be a ton of fun. I mean, if you thought these races were exciting, boy, are we about to be in for a treat, especially in the C and B main, and then of course the A main as well. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of talent still racing. Everybody is still in. Nobody has been knocked out yet, but we've organized them all based on finishing position, and that is great. So I'm really looking forward to it.
So from Duke Anzac and from myself as well, we thank you a lot for hanging with us for the One Up Winter Classic heat races. They've been a lot of fun to bring to you live. And stay tuned, because in the not too distant future, we'll be back for the C main. It's coming at you live, same time, same place. Stay tuned for that. So long from Oswego. It's been a lot of fun, but the fun's just getting started, really.